I just, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, girl, you look good, okay? No, for real. Like I really think this foundation is worth it. All right, y'all. So we are about to get into this Maybelline Superstay 30 Hour Foundation. If you watched my full face of drugstore makeup, I'm going to put that in the cards so you can go see that. If you watched that, you know I did purchase this foundation specifically for that video. So it's about time I went ahead and did a review. I have the shade 332. The specs of this foundation, I'm just reading it from the back. It says that it is a long-lasting luminous matte finish. It has buildable airy coverage, breathable, and it has a breathable feel. It resists sweat and transfer. So let's go ahead and do application. I like to apply my foundations with a brush, flat top brush. Most of my application with makeup, I like the brush just because I feel like it's the best application that you can do when it comes to makeup with almost everything, honestly. So I just do that. Make sure you have clean hands when you're doing that. So starting out from the middle. And for this application, y'all know I like a finishing powder on top of my foundations. If you did not know, you know that now. So because this is a review, I will not be doing that because every other time that I've worn this foundation, I have put my setting powder under. What my setting powder really isn't even a real setting powder. It is a foundation, a powdered foundation. And I use that powdered foundation when I am doing a very light look. This is the first layer of the foundation. This does say that it is, let me see. It says that it is buildable but airy, so you should be able to build this up and it doesn't look cakey or anything. I really like this first layer. It is very natural looking. It's kind of giving a no foundation look in my opinion. But just keep in mind, y'all, I really don't have acne. So how it shows up on me, I really don't have anything to cover. But I'm going to just do a second layer just so we can see what it's looking like with a second layer. You definitely only need one pump if you want a everyday kind of look. You're not going for a full face. Okay, y'all, this is the second layer. It's not giving cakey or this dry matte. This is a Lumi-Matte foundation, so it gives you a luminous finish. So even with the second layer, it's still really giving you a very luminous finish. The first layer was definitely a layer that gives you a more natural makeup look, but the second layer is definitely more coverage, but still very luminous, and it looks really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my makeup. Again, I'm not going to put on any of my finishing powder on top. I'm just going to leave the foundation as is and wear it throughout so y'all can get a really good idea of exactly how the product works, or how the foundation is over time, because it does say that it is a 30-hour foundation. It hasn't been that long since I've finished my full look. And as I said, I did not use any finishing powder on my face. But it still does look really, really good. There is, I do have, I guess, smile lines or mouth lines around my mouth. And it's kind of seeping into those. It doesn't look too bad. I will be just out running some errands today. Nothing really like serious, but I did just want to go out with this foundation just to see how I feel about it exactly. And at the end of the day, I will come back and let y'all know exactly how I feel, talk about the specs and just my experience, because as I said, I have used this foundation, but I use it in the way that I do. So I want to give y'all a really good review of the formula by itself, so then you can make the best decision on whether or not this is a foundation that you are interested in. All right, y'all. So it has been 7 hours that I have, not the whole time I've been out, but that I've just been wearing it, talking on the phone and different things of that nature. So I think I'm ready to give a full review. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I have the Maybelline website pulled up on my phone just so we can go into a little bit of details. Now, the details of this are really short. It just says that the Super Stay Lumi-Matte Foundation delivers buildable coverage and up to 30-hour wear. It's light, it's air formula infused with amino acid gives a luminous matte finish. Now for the benefits, it says long wearing coverage is so airy and lightweight that it feels like nothing on the skin. Super comfortable formula infused with amino acid gives a luminous matte finish. Resists sweat, water, and transfer. Available in 24 shades. All right, again, I am in the shade 332, and I'm just going to address a couple of things here. So one of the things that it says is that it delivers a buildable coverage. 1000% agree. This foundation is buildable. The first layer of foundation that I put on, it definitely gave a more natural look. You can kind of see the skin peeking through, but it also really enhanced the look of your skin as well. So I really like that. But the second layer of foundation that I was able to put on really gave me a more glam look without really being cakey. Like, you can tell that this foundation is definitely buildable just from that. You can get a very natural look from it, or you can get a more glam look from it. And based on what I did today, it's not full glam, but it definitely gave glam today. So I do 100% agree that this foundation is so light on the skin. It says that you won't feel it, and I really do not feel it throughout the day. And that is absolutely amazing. One of the things that I had a problem with, because I went a long while without really even wearing foundation, and it was because the foundations were, like, I could feel them. Like, my skin would be very irritated. I would always be patting my face and things because my face would just feel so uncomfortable with the foundation that I was wearing. So I said all that to say, this foundation is so comfortable while you are wearing it. Like, you really feel like you don't have on any foundation. I've had this on for almost 8 hours and I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation, which is crazy. I absolutely love that about this foundation. As far as the foundation being transferable or transferred, I do agree that this foundation really does not transfer. And I say that because I had been on the phone for hours, y'all, with my best friend throughout the day. I was holding the phone up to my ear on multiple different occasions. Usually because of the heat from your phone and your phone touching your face when you're on the phone, when I look at my phone, it has makeup on it. My phone did not have any makeup on it. And I was on the phone with my best friend with my phone up to my ear for at least an hour. And the makeup did not transfer, y'all. I don't know about clothing or transferring from clothes. And I say that because it was really cold out today, and I had on my big little bubble coat, and it goes like up to my jawbone here, and it was rubbing up against it. But I don't know if it was the makeup that I'm wearing now or old makeup, but I've noticed that my coat right there has, makeup there. I'm not sure if it's from this or me wearing makeup previously when I have that coat on. So I will say that. I honestly think you really can't transfer proof anything unless it gets hard as a rock. And I'm pretty sure this isn't going to do that. But I will say, even from the heat from my phone, it did not transfer onto my phone, which I think is really good, because it doesn't matter what every foundation that I've ever worn, it gets on my phone if I end up talking on the phone with it. This is not a foundation that changes colors, because we do know some foundations do oxidize. You put it on and then once it sets, it gets darker. That does not happen with this foundation. And I really love the fact that it does not look powdery as well. This foundation honestly is just a really great. I will say, y'all do know the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation is my absolute favorite drugstore foundation. And this will be a really, really, really close second. But overall, y'all, I 1000% think that this foundation is worth it to go purchase. It is on Maybelline's website for $15.99, so $16. If you're just starting out with any kind of foundation, definitely try this one out. Maybelline is a really great company to start out with your makeup journey anyway. I 1000% think this foundation could probably last 30 hours, just because it's been 8 hours and I really don't feel like the look of my face has changed. Granted, it is really cold outside. I have not sweated. I really have not done anything. So if you have a really long day where you're probably just going to be inside, I definitely think you can put this foundation on and your face is going to look as good as it did when you're leaving. That's just what I think. Meaning if you're going to be inside, not really doing anything. So say if you have a long day at work, in the office, if you go in between different places, so if you go to work, to happy hour, to somewhere else, like, your makeup will give you that longevity. If you are wearing this foundation, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I do think it's worth that $16. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in my next one. Bye.